Cartoon Network or YouTube, Blockbuster or Netflix, playing outside until the streetlights came on, or playing online until your eyes burned. I was in a room full of people my age. Someone mentioned recording songs from the radio onto cassette tapes. Half the room lit up. The other half had no idea what we were talking about, and I felt something I'd felt my entire life, but never had words for. I went home that night and noticed something on my coffee table. 2 remote controls, one for a TV that used to have 3 channels and rabbit ears, and right next to it, a phone with the entire internet inside. My brain learned to operate in 2 completely different worlds. And I never questioned it until that night, that feeling of being caught between 2 worlds. It turns out it has a name, and it's not what you think. It's actually something remarkable. And it starts with a Saturday morning in 1998. Picture this. It's Saturday morning 1998. You're cross-legged on the carpet, cereal in one hand, remote in the other. Scooby-Doo is on and you woke up early for it because there's no pause button, no rewind, no watch later. If you missed it, you missed it. After cartoons, you went outside, rode bikes until your knees were scraped raw, built forts out of whatever you could find, came home when the streetlights flickered on. Not because someone texted you, because that's just what the light meant. You spend 3, maybe 4 hours a day outside. Today's kids average less than 30 minutes. But here's the thing, you weren't just playing, you were building something. Psychologists call this environmental imprinting. It is the process by which experiences in one's living environment, particularly during sensitive periods early in life, leave a lasting mark on the brain, affect beliefs and behavior of an individual, even long after that environment has changed entirely. Like the bird will recognize and follow the first moving object they saw after hatching, your brain didn't just enjoy those Saturday mornings. It hardwired the rules of the world you grew up in. And those rules, they're still running in the background. Right now, as you watch this, think of it like this. Your brain was running Windows 95, limited, slow, but you learned every single shortcut. And that operating system, it never fully uninstalled. But then something happened that no previous generation had ever experienced. One year you were rewinding VHS tapes with a pencil to save the battery. Next you were burning CDs and writing track names on them with a marker. Then came dial-up internet, sitting in front of a humming computer, waiting 45 minutes for a single song to download, praying no one would pick up the phone and cut the connection. You went from handwriting essays to typing them, from calling a friend's house and having to make small talk with their parents first, "Yes sir, I'll keep it short," to sending a text that said everything in 12 words. From memorizing phone numbers by heart to storing them in a device the size of your palm. From the library card catalogue to the entire world, sitting quietly at your fingertips. And the strange thing is, you didn't feel the speed of it while it was happening. Each change arrived just gradually enough that you adapted before you even noticed. You simply woke up one morning and realized that a version of your life from just 5 years earlier already looked like a different century. No generation before had ever been asked to rewire itself so completely, so quickly, and with so little warning. You were not just witnessing technological change. You were being shaped by it, imprinted by a world that refused to hold still long enough for you to fully understand what it was becoming. Here's something people don't talk about enough. You gotta figure out who you were in private. Your embarrassing moments stayed local. There was no digital record of your worst haircut or your most awkward phase. You've got to be bad at things without the whole world watching. And when the internet appeared, that became a luxury that will never exist again. The caption that you posted when you were drunk, the picture of you that your friend posted as a joke, the post you share about an idol that you may forget 2 years later. Everything on the internet stays there as evidence, which you're not really sure that you want to see, hear, or remember again. And neuroscientists call this cognitive flexibility, the ability to switch between completely different mental frameworks without breaking a sweat. In simple terms, cognitive flexibility is the ability to shift the way you think when the situation calls for it. The world changes, and so do you. And here's what's fascinating. You didn't learn this in a classroom. You learned it by living through the biggest technological shift in human history. You didn't learn it on purpose. It happened the way learning to walk or learning to speak happened. Not through instruction, through experience, through survival, plot twist. You became bilingual without ever leaving your living room. And that skill? It's about to become very relevant. First, it was MySpace. You picked your top 8 friends and customized your page with glittery backgrounds. Then Facebook, then Instagram. And with each new platform, you learned something new. How to curate, how to perform, how to measure your worth in likes. Social media offers us many advantages. Connecting with people in an instant, messaging friends for free, making friends with people who live on the other side of the earth, updating news. You learned how to change your communication style and adapt to the new era of information. But the reality is, 1, social media didn't just change how you communicate. It splits your psychology in half. One version of you was formed organically, in private, through real experience. The other was built for an audience. Let's be honest. You just post your beautiful images, the highlight reels, or achievements worth celebrating. And the struggles and the ones that cost you sleep, that you fought through alone, those you swallow quietly, out of sight. There's no shame in that. Millions of people put their best foot forward. But it's a clear example of just how deeply social media has reached into the fabric of our daily lives. Now here's what happens next. Your brain does something called rosy retrospection. It filters out the boring stuff and preserves the emotional highs. Negative memories fade faster, so our brain naturally gravitates toward the good stuff. That's why the 90s feel more magical than they were. You just remember the cozy atmosphere when your family watched Friends, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or Home Improvement together, but you forget how you fought with your sibling for the remote. You just remember the weekend you hung out with friends at the mall, but not the hours waiting for them with no way to contact them. That's the thing about rosy retrospection. It doesn't lie to you, it just edits very selectively. But, and this is the part nobody talks about, that filter also makes the present feel worse by comparison. And researchers discovered that this goes way deeper than just missing the old days. So let me connect the dots. You were shaped by an analog world. Then your brain rewired itself for a digital one. Then social media splits your identity into 2. And through all of it, your brain kept filtering the past through rose-colored glasses. No wonder you feel like a different species. Psychologists call this psychological essentialism, the deep belief that your group shares a core essence that makes you fundamentally different from everyone else. And for 90s kids, that belief isn't imagined. It's neurologically earned, but this comes with a cost that nobody warned you about. Researchers at the University of California found something that stopped me in my tracks. People who grew up during major technological transitions don't just feel different. They experience higher rates of decision fatigue, identity fragmentation, and chronic comparison. Think about it. Your analog brain says slow down. Your digital brain says keep up. Your imprinted rules say go outside. Your curated identity says stay online. Every single day, you're running 2 operating systems at once. That exhaustion you feel at the end of the day, even when you haven't done anything physically demanding. That sense that you're somehow falling behind, even when you're doing fine. It makes sense now. You're not failing. Your brain is just doing twice the work. But here's what that same research found next. The same researchers found that people with this kind of dual wiring don't just struggle more. They also adapt faster. They solve problems from angles that single-system thinkers can't even see. They hold contradictions in their head without short-circuiting. Your brain doesn't just switch between analog and digital. It integrates them. And that's genuinely rare. I once sat in a job interview where they asked me to solve a problem no one on the team had cracked. I didn't use a single framework they taught in school. I used pattern recognition I'd built from years of adapting to completely different systems, from cassette tapes to cloud computing. From handshakes to hashtags, I got the job. And later, my manager told me something I'll never forget. You think like someone who's lived in 2 different countries at the same time. Psychologists call this integrative complexity, the ability to hold multiple perspectives simultaneously and synthesize them into something new. Most people develop this through years of deliberate training. You developed it by growing up. You didn't just survive the transition between 2 worlds. You shape-shifted. And that makes you remarkably weird. So the next time someone asks you why 90s kids are so obsessed with their childhood, now you know. It's not nostalgia. It's not a phase. It's not because you can't let go. It's because your brain was environmentally imprinted by one world, developed cognitive flexibility to survive another, experienced rosy retrospection that colored everything golden, formed a psychological, essentialist identity around it, and through all of that, built integrative complexity that most people never develop. You're not stuck between 2 worlds. You are the bridge, and honestly, the world has never needed bridge builders more than it does right now. You're not stuck between 2 worlds. You are the bridge, and honestly, the world has never needed bridge builders more than it does right now. If this video made something click for you, if you finally have words for something you've always felt, leave a comment. Tell me, what's your 2 remote controls moment? What's the thing that makes you realize you lived in 2 different worlds? I read every single one, and if you want to understand more about how your brain actually works, subscribe, because this is just the beginning.